Oh my goodness. It has been so long. Welcome back. Okay, nice. So sorry for the delay. Thank you for sticking with me. Hopefully this video shows up in your feed. A lot of stuff going on over here. You can probably see there's some different things happening in the shop. Moving, classes, holidays, remodeling, all sorts of stuff. So anyways, today I am making a lot of miscellaneous different things for some different projects. There's a few up there on the board. I'm actually going to do, I've been making these little forms, these little faceted bud vase forms during some of the demos in my classes here in the Midwest. So I figured I would show you how I make these kind of like what I think are cute little bud vase things. So again, if you're new to the channel, I'm Jason, this is Pig's Eye Pottery. Thank you for your patience. I know there's been like a month and a half or something in between videos. I will be back on this regularly scheduled updates, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, if you dig these videos, if you find some value, like, subscribe, and share, comment, let me know ideas of forms that you would like to see me make. And yeah, so enjoy. So anyways, I've got about a pound of clay here. I'm gonna start by smashing it on the wheel, get it centered. Any of these basics, if you want a refresher, there is a series called The Basics, and you can kind of hear my spiel about how I center, how I open, how I do initial pulls, yada, yada, yada. So anyways, getting this clay centered. This is gonna be very simple. I'm gonna make 3 of them really quickly. I'm gonna fly through this, and then, so first thing, we're dropping the well, opening up the clay just like that. I drop the well with my thumbs, I open up the clay like that. There's 1,000 different ways to do it. Fingertips, pull it toward you, whatever you dig. This next pull, I'm gonna try and get this sort of triangular situation. So what I like to do, so I tend to favor my dominant side and lean over here. In order to get the clay to come straight up, I'm gonna get right over top of it. I'm gonna grab the clay gently and I'm gonna push in with my outside hand. I'm not trying to thin these walls out. I'm actually trying to leave them kind of thick, and I'll show you why that will come in handy for faceting here in a second. The next thing I'm going to do, if I can find the tool, is I'm going to use one of these metal rib tools to really sort of firm up and compress the walls. So I'm just going to actually collar this hole in a little bit so it's nice and narrow, and then I'm going to use this this metal rib tool, set it up on the outside, and with my inside fingers I'm just going to gently push the clay up against the tool to get the angle that I'm going for, and also to compress the living heck out of the clay and the walls. I like being a little bit, these days I like working a little bit slower. So if you've been you know, kind of tuning into the channel for a while, you'll notice I can make pots pretty fast sometimes. I've been trying to slow down a little bit to give the pots a little bit more character, what I think is actually kind of cool. So I'm gonna use this metal rib tool to flare that opening out just a little bit, and we'll come back to that in a second. And then what I'm gonna do now is facet. These walls are probably about, I don't know, 1/2 inch thick right now, and I'm gonna facet a couple of different ways. So first, I'm gonna use this wire tool, and I'm just gonna come straight down with it. I do like symmetry, and so I'm gonna facet one side, manually turn the wheel to get directly across from it, 180 degrees. Facet the second side. I'm cleaning off that wire in between every facet. Now I'm gonna split the difference, hit it at about 90 degrees. Just like that. I'm not dropping the clay on the floor. There is a slop bucket situation right down there. Like that. And now get the gaps. The glazes I've been using lately will exaggerate these cut angles. It will pull in those flat spaces. I just like the look of it. And now I am going to use this sponge to soften that rim a little bit. So I'm just gonna get the sponge on the inside and just let it rest on the outside and push down slightly just to soften that a tiny bit. And then I'm not gonna do really anything with that besides cut a little bit of clay around the outside, undercut it a little bit to lift that material up off the wheel, leave a little bit of a shadow. I'm barely gonna trim these. And actually, I think the only thing I'm gonna do at this point is use my left hand, I'm primarily right-handed, to stretch and give this a little bit of a belly. And so I'm just gonna add a little bit of water, and then I'm not gonna touch the outside, and I'm just gonna push the clay out from the inside to stretch it and soften the shape a little bit. I'm trying not to widen the mouth. I'm just trying to mess with the shape a little bit. Stout little bud vase for flowers or whatever. I like the look of it. You know, whatever. Puddle of water at noon. Wire tool. Slide it right off like that. So just like sort of my grandmother would refer to as a darling little bud vase. We'll put that right there for now. I'm gonna do another couple here, but I wanna show you, I'm gonna use these little wire tool jammers instead of the garrote. It does yield a slightly different result. I can't decide which one I like better, but anyways, wheels dry side of the clay, smash it on there. Right now, again, if you're been with the channel for a while, you notice I put my wheels up on cinder blocks, or my wheel up on cinder blocks, and I'm standing. I'm not sure if this is the good fit just yet. I think what I might do is lower this down a bit and get a higher chair. I was having some back problems, and for me being 39 years old, coming up on 40, that is unbelievably not cool. So just trying to solve the back thing. I was also told, actually, so if any of you out there are throwing and feeling it in your back, feeling it especially in your lower back, I was told recently to stretch your hamstrings. So to stretch out before you throw pots. Yeah, all of these fun older people things that you have to consider because I want to be healthy enough to throw pots for the rest of my life. So there we go. So again, drop the well, open it up. Now I'm just gonna hug this clay in a bit, and I'm gonna do a very simple pull and pulling it to the center. So inside hand is doing almost nothing. Outside hand was just pushing in, just like that. I'm gonna add a little bit of water, take my metal rib tool, really push in. So I'm applying most of my pressure at my pointer finger there. And I'm actually gonna push out from the base to get it to touch that rib tool, and then just drag that clay up against the tool. You can see how I'm getting a little bit of height that way as well. Like that. I'm gonna take this tool, whoop, hey, metal rib tool, and just splay that top out a little bit. And then now, I'm not super well versed, it's a great sentence I just spouted off there. I'm not well versed in using this tool a ton. I usually use the garrote. So I'm just gonna double check that thickness. I'm working at about a 1/2 inch again. And then what I'm gonna do, and here, let's do it from this side. I'm going to start from the bottom. Yeah, that ain't gonna work either. I'm gonna start from the bottom and pull the wire tool up. And you get a much cleaner, I think. You see that cut already is way more consistent than just using your hands with the garrote. Yoink. It depends on what look you like. My preferences for what I like as far as pots that I make change literally daily. So I don't really know what to tell you. Just, I am always telling students that come through to take classes, just the more pots you make, the better you get. So just keep cranking them out. Eventually you might make some pots that you don't completely despise. If any of you are like me, I am fairly critical of everything that I make. Sometimes when unloading a kiln of new work, I legit just unload it and then walk away for like a day and do something else, because I very rarely like my work fresh out of the kiln. I'm usually pretty critical of what's going on with it. But again, these tools are pretty slick. I think they yield a little bit cleaner lines. There's still a little bit of wobbliness happening in there and whatever, but it's just a different look. It can look pretty interesting. Again, gonna soften that rim just slightly. By the way, it is, what month are we in? Mid-April, and I live in western Wisconsin, so if you can hear in the background, it is pouring rain out there and gloomy. So hopefully that's not too loud and y'all can hear what I'm doing. Undercut a little bit, and then now again, all I'm gonna do is just add a little bit of water and soften that belly. Just a little bit. Pretty thin right there. There's actually a couple spots there that are pretty darn thin, so I'm gonna be very careful in how I'm stretching this out a little bit. Don't wanna rip the walls. This clay, see what I mean? Just cute little bud vase. Had my Bob Ross moment there for a second. Just a precious little bud vase. Just like that. So, let's do one more, and I'll just kind of do this in real time so you can get a sense for the rhythm of how I throw. By the way, I'll give you a tour of my setup here soon, but I've got like little places for tools and stuff that's all within arm's reach. I find it super, super helpful to not have to like reach all over the place to grab stuff. So, okay, last one's a charm. Let's see if I can make something that I kind of like. So getting the clay centered. Again, I do not wedge. I am not a great clay wedger. So, I'll move to the side so you can see what's happening here, but what I'm doing is called coning. So I'm working the clay up into a cone shape, pushing it back down. Typically do this with two hands, but it's kind of cool to see with just one. That is ensuring that I don't have air bubbles and weirdness that probably a good potter that wedges their clay properly would have avoided that problem in the first place. But anyways. Something else. I will hopefully, maybe not, if not this summer, or fall, very soon, I will be uploading another series, building a kiln. I ran into, and if any of you out there have run into this issue of materials, I was out of commission as far as being able to finish pots for about 2 months because of a supply chain issue with heating elements for electric kilns. I do not want to be put in that position ever again, and so what I have decided is that I'm going to build a gas kiln out here in my shop in western Wisconsin, and yeah, I will definitely document as much of that as I possibly can. With this one, so with the last two, straight up and down, with this one, I'm gonna kind of go with the pot, and I'm actually gonna curve it just a little bit. So I'm gonna start off at like, what would that be, 4 o'clock, and I'm gonna try and work my way to 6 o'clock here. Just a gentle twist in the facet. And again, turn it manually, get right across from it, 4 o'clock, work my way to 6 o'clock. Just like that. Now getting in between these two, 4 o'clock to 6. Just like that. I've had a lot of caffeine, and if you look very close, I don't know if the camera's picking up on it, but you can see the level of caffeine I have had in the facets, which is interesting. For those of you out there that are local to the Midwest, I do still have the gallery and studio in St. Paul, Minnesota, off West 7th. Yeah, if you are in the area and would like to check it out, contact and make an appointment to visit, because I am there sporadically. So soften that rim, cutting some of this clay away, cut like that, and then we're going to stretch this out. Just really pushing out at the base and working my way up until I've made a shape that I kind of dig. Working my way back down. There we go. Weird little bud vase. That rim feels a little insignificant. Let's highlight that a little bit more. There we go. Okay, sweet. Thank you for sticking with the channel. Thank you for being patient. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, yada, yada, yada. There's ways to support the channel down in the description. Again, I will do my best to stay on top of uploading videos and doing some more instructional kind of step-by-step stuff here soon. Until then, thank you so much for sticking with me. I appreciate you all. I hope you all are doing wonderfully. Have a beautiful day or night or whatever time that you watch this, in whatever dimension that you're in, and be awesome to each other. Thank you very much.